My mom chose someone else's kids over me. Now she wants a family again. My parents got divorced. I was 16 at the time, and my sister was 14. We were old enough to understand what was happening, but still young enough that the whole thing ripped through us. We did the usual thing, split time between mom and dad. It wasn't ideal, but it worked. At first, things stayed pretty normal. But then in 2019, everything changed. That's when my mom started dating this guy. We didn't meet him, but we knew about him. One day, she sat us down and told us his child had cancer. She said that the kid's immune system was so compromised that she couldn't risk exposing them to anything. Even a common cold could be deadly. Because of that, she said it wasn't safe to be around us anymore. So, she stopped seeing us. Not for a few weeks. Not for a few months. She just left. She told our dad that he'd have to take custody for now, and once things were better with her boyfriend's kid, she'd be back. She called us maybe twice over the next 2 years. I can't even describe what that felt like. I wasn't some toddler who didn't understand what was happening. I was a teenager, watching my mom completely check out of my life, like my sister and I were just parts of a chapter she was closing. No birthdays, no holidays, no casual calls just to check in. I remember the first birthday that passed with nothing from her. Not a card, not a text, just silence. And I remember my sister crying in her room because she'd gotten straight A's and mom didn't even know. We didn't hate her right away. At first, we tried to understand. It sucked, but we told ourselves, okay, she's trying to be there for someone who's sick. She'll come back. But she didn't. Update 1. Back in 2017, my parents got divorced. I was 17, my sister was 15. The split was rough, but we managed. We spent time between both our parents. Kind of a week here, a week there. It wasn't perfect, but we still had a mom and a dad who were trying to be present, and that meant something. Then in 2019, my mom started seeing someone new. We didn't meet him, but she mentioned him here and there. A little while into their relationship, she sat us down and said his child had cancer. It was serious, the kind where any kind of illness could be dangerous. She told us she couldn't see us anymore because we might get his kid sick. Just like that, she backed out of being a parent. She didn't try to figure out ways to make it work or talk through it with us. She just told my dad that he needed to have full custody for now. She said once the kid got better, things would go back to normal. They never did. She stopped showing up. Birthdays came and went. Holidays, school events, achievements, struggles, silence. In 2 years, I think she called us twice. She didn't visit. She didn't try. We weren't little kids anymore. We knew what abandonment looked like. And it hurt like hell. My sister used to ask me why our mom didn't want us anymore, and I never had a good answer. I didn't understand it either. We weren't the ones who walked away. We weren't sick. We were just inconvenient. And, slowly, something inside me switched off when it came to her. I stopped waiting for her to come back. I stopped hoping. Update 2. So in 2021, after not seeing us for 2 full years, my mom suddenly reached out. She was getting married to the same guy whose son had cancer, and she wanted us to meet him. Over Zoom. We hadn't heard from her in forever. She had disappeared from our lives, and now she wanted us to pop into a video call like it was all normal. We said no. She got upset and made it clear she didn't understand why we were saying no. It's like she thought everything that happened in those 2 years could just be skipped over. Later that same year, her husband's son, the one who'd been sick, caught COVID. He still had cancer. Mom called our dad and told him to prepare us for a funeral, that it was only a matter of time. When the boy died, she wanted us to attend the funeral. We didn't go. I think that was the moment she realized we weren't just waiting for her to come back, that our lives had moved on without her in them. A few weeks later, my sister took a phone call from her. I didn't. I didn't want to hear anything she had to say. She'd already said enough with her actions. Then we found out her husband had another kid, at least one. She wanted us to meet our new sibling. I told her no. My sister did too. Our dad said it was fine, and he respected our choice. After that, Mom went quiet again. Another 2 years of basically nothing. Update 3. Then in 2023, after years of being mostly silent, my mom told my dad she was pregnant. No check-ins. No rebuilding trust. Just, I'm pregnant, they should come over. My dad basically told her no. Not just no, but that she needed to actually show up, do the work, earn it. not just throw big life updates at us and expect we'd fall in line. After that, surprise, she went quiet again. Fast forward to October 2024. That's when she got a lawyer involved. Yeah, a lawyer. She had once sent a message to my dad saying she wanted 50-50 custody of me and my sister again. I couldn't believe it. She had been gone for years. No support, no visits, no calls most of the time. And now she wanted to come back like she'd just been out of town? My dad's lawyer responded, "Not happening." He made it clear she had abandoned us, legally and emotionally. That month was messy. She tried to push her way back and hard. She even tried to show up on my birthday. But my grandparents, my mom's parents, were the ones hosting, and thankfully, they didn't let her in. I'd already told them I didn't want to see her, not on that day, not in that way. But somehow, she kept acting like we were being unfair. She started begging for another chance. Said she'd do anything to have us back in her life. My sister actually talked to her a little, just to hear her out, but made it clear she didn't want a relationship. I still didn't say a word. I wasn't ready to let her rewrite the story she walked away from. Update 4. A little over a month ago, my mom pushed things even harder. She was calling, texting, threatening more legal action, saying she was going to take my dad to court for custody again. It was constant. I finally gave in. Not because I wanted to fix things, but because I was tired of hearing from her without ever saying what I needed to say. So she came over. She started off acting like she was being brave, like this was some emotional reunion moment. She apologized, but it wasn't real. It was covered in excuses. She told us how her husband's son was so sick and needed her, that she didn't want to risk us getting him sick, that she was grieving when we didn't show up to the funeral, that it broke her heart we didn't comfort her. She said it was wrong of our dad to not make us go, that she felt abandoned by us while she was grieving the death of a child. Then she tried to guilt us into being a family again, told us we had siblings now and we needed to be part of that. And that's when I snapped. I told her to get lost. I told her every excuse was bulls, that she was the one who walked away, that she chose someone else's kid over her own. I told her I didn't feel bad for skipping that funeral because she didn't deserve comfort from us. She hadn't earned a single second of it. I called her a bad mom, and I told her if she cared so much about her husband and his kids, then she could stay with them and leave us alone.